an unexplained disappearance. A trail gone cold.
We thought we had something to go on, something we could follow up on. We really had nothing.
Until an outsider uncovers a dark secret.
I feel someone was with them that night. Someone that knows more than they'll tell.
Respond to Oak Street, number 24 Oak Street, for a missing person.
111 received, being route to missing persons report. I was dispatched to investigate a report of a missing persons complaint. Hello, how are you? The family had stated Armand LaForest hadn't returned home, and they were very concerned about his whereabouts.
Armand LaForest told his family he was going out to meet friends for drinks, but that was 12 hours ago.
My father would always call if he was going to be late. It was unlike him not to call.
Police suspect there's an innocent explanation for LaForest's absence.
That was the last time anybody saw him.
Because the family's so worried, police start investigating.
Just start to recreate the past and find out as much as we can about that person. It could be that someone intentionally wanted to leave and there's nothing wrong at all. It could be suspicious in nature. Be in touch.
Okay.
We sent a message out, broadcast to all the units in the area, requesting that they be on the lookout for his vehicle. A blue Chevy Impala, four-door New York Reg, boy zebra Nora.
Colony police also checked towing and accident reports. But there's no leads on the car. 12 more hours pass, and there's still no sign of Armand LaForest.
The first 24, 48 hours, it's crucial to try to get out and do all the interviews and investigation you can.
The Colony Police Department opens a missing persons case and turns the investigation over to veteran detective Alex Rinaldi.
Nothing. As time goes on, the trail gets cold, and it just makes it harder and harder. Yeah, I'm investigating a missing person, and I was wondering. I called Armand's friends, talked to them, tried to find out, what he did the night before his disappearance, and I found nothing out. All right, thanks. Bye.
LaForest hasn't reached out to anyone. Maybe he can't.
We checked the morgue for any John Does they may have had down there in the last couple days. We checked the hospitals. They hadn't come up with anything. We just had nothing.
Desperate for any leads, police turn to the community and the media for answers.
We put it out to all 3 news stations, 4 news stations, and at that point, we put a press release out to all the local media with a picture of Armand and a brief description of the vehicle he was driving and him to see if anyone had seen him in the area.
In a small town like this one, LaForest's disappearance is front-page news.
Carol DeMar. Myself and other reporters wrote stories about it, that he was missing, the police were looking for any help they could get.
The coverage pays off. Someone remembers seeing LaForest at a party the night he disappeared.
We found out that Armand had gone to a friend of his named Steve's house. At that point, I called Steve. I made an appointment to stop down and talk to him. Hi, how you doing? I wanted to talk to you about the party. Yeah. There was a guy named Armand LaForest.
LaForest was at the party, Steve says, but he left before it ended. Steve tells the detective that he doesn't know where LaForest went when he left the party, and he hasn't heard from him since. Armand LaForest has now been missing for 72 hours, and police know the chances of finding him alive are getting slimmer with every passing moment. The investigation is at a standstill. So the missing man's frantic daughters decide to take matters into their own hands.
The family, in desperation to find Armand, called a local psychic, Ann Fisher.
Ann Fisher.
Hi, this is Pamela LaForest. I never worked with a psychic before, and I didn't know if I really believed it. But I was willing to give anything and try to find my father.
I've been a psychic for over 20 years, and I've worked with many police departments. I will see glimpses of the past, maybe something of the present, and something of the future.
When I heard that Ann Fisher was involved, I was a little bit skeptical. I didn't really think she was going to be able to shed any light on this.
But with nowhere else to turn, LaForest's daughter heads to Fisher's office.
I asked her to bring me a picture of her father, because in this way I can pick up a person's vibration. The photograph is an imprint of the person, and I knew that I could get information this way. Many visions come to me by holding a photograph. He has pain. He has pain. He has pain. Hand, holding his hand. I feel something wrong with one of his hands. Like it didn't work very well. It must have been injured in some way.
Yeah, he did hurt his hand. I was surprised because my father did have a hand injury and he was out of work because of it.
Convinced she's on the right track, Fisher now tries to zero in on the night LaForest disappeared.
Arnold's energy. Who's he with? Who's he with? Who is it? I felt Armand's energy. Someone's with him. Someone's with him. Someone not alone. Not alone. Who's he with? Who's he with? I feel someone was with them that night. Someone that knows more than they'll tell.
Is there somebody out there who's hiding the truth?
He wasn't alone.
Psychic Ann Fisher is convinced that there's somebody out there who knows exactly where Armand LaForest is.
I had a strong feeling that Armand was with someone the night he disappeared. I do not feel he was alone. It's like seeing like a TV screen in your mind. You have to catch it fast. He's going. He's going. He's leaving. A woman is with him. When I touched the picture, I could feel that he had been with a woman with light hair.
Fisher can't identify the mysterious woman from her vision. But maybe police can.
That's what I feel.
They get a tip that matches the psychic's vision. It turns out that LaForest didn't go straight home after Steve's party. A tipster says that LaForest was with a woman named Renee Auclair the night he disappeared.
I located Renee to speak with her, to see if she could shed any light on where Armand had gone. She seemed surprised that Armand was missing.
Auclair freely admits she was with LaForest that night. But she says they parted ways. She went home, and he went to a neighborhood bar.
She, didn't have any idea where he could have been. And that was pretty much the end of the questioning at that point.
But what about the bar where Auclair says LaForest was headed? Does anyone there know what happened that night?
We're investigating the case of a missing person. I spoke with the bartender who had been working that night.
Had a few drinks. Were you working last night?
Yes, it was. I showed him a picture of Armand LaForest to see if he had been in. And the bartender thought he might have seen him in there that night.
Girl, I'm not really sure. He said he looks familiar, but I'm not sure.
Okay. He might have seen him, but he deals with a lot of customers, and he really didn't know.
I could give him my business card if you wouldn't mind.
This lead, too, fizzles out.
Thank you.
And as in many missing persons cases, police have to wonder, are they looking for a man who doesn't want to be found?
He's an adult. If he wants to go, he can go, and we're not going to make him come back.
But LaForest's daughters refuse to believe their father just took off.
We wanted to be able to do something ourselves to bring our father back.
The family posts flyers all over town, and they keep the story in the media. Finally, the persistence pays off. The flyers generate a lead.
A waitress in a nearby diner thought she recognized him and that she had waited on him and another man.
Lieutenant Rinaldi heads to the restaurant.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm Lieutenant Rinaldi. Colony Police. We're investigating a case.
It was the first clue we had in a while, and we figured Armand was still in the area, so we had something to follow up on.
I'll show you that one first.
I believe that's him.
When I spoke with the waitress, she told me that Armand was in with another person, that they ate, they paid with cash.
Cash.
Police feel like they've been tracking a ghost for a week. Have they finally found Armand LaForest? After coming up empty for a full week, police have finally tracked Armand LaForest to a restaurant.
The waitress was positive that she had waited on Armand LaForest, so we were pretty ecstatic about, having somebody that was sure that they had seen him.
But when Rinaldi digs a little deeper, he finds a problem.
I showed her some more pictures of Armand LaForest, the ones that weren't on television or in the paper, and at that point, she had some doubts as to whether she waited on him or not. And we thought we had something to go on, something we could follow up on, sink our teeth into, and we really had nothing.
The last good lead is gone. Police have tried, but they can't find Armand LaForest. Maybe psychic Ann Fisher can.
Have you ever heard anything about my father?
Pam asked me, would you help me again? And of course I said I would.
This time, Fisher asks Pam and her sister to take her to the last place that their father was seen. His friend Steve's house.
If I go to a place where a person's been, I can get their emotion, their feeling, and in this way pick up what's on their mind, their state of mind and how they are.
I've never been to a scene with a psychic, so I didn't know what to expect. Anne started walking around. I wasn't sure what she was doing.
I felt Armand's energy. He was having fun and enjoying the party. When I went to one part of the house, Armand's energy flooded over me. I felt his presence. He needs help. I hear screeching.
Water.
When I came out of the vision, I could see that Armand was in his car in water. I could tell that Armand had been in the car with someone else, but now he was alone. I know where your father is. I asked Pam for a map so I could find Armand. When I use a map, I use a pendulum for that, and it gives me a yes or no, and I know if I'm going in the right direction. Not only do I see a vision, but it's saying yes. I usually start with the place the person was last seen, and then see if I can follow it to where he may be at the present time. I feel that this is the right direction to go, and I feel that he's right here. If it swings towards me, it's yes. If it swings in the opposite direction, it's no. Right there, right there.
The psychic senses that LaForest is close by. But will the missing man be found alive? Fisher leads his daughters to the banks of the Mohawk River.
This is where I feel it could have happened. The vibrations are right. I feel death and sadness. And I think they'll find him here if we can only get into the water. The water looked peaceful, but I knew the car was down there.
But is it true? The family calls police. They race to the scene.
Aunt Fisher pointed out a spot where she believed that a car had gone into the river. And when I was looking at it, there were, in fact, tire tracks going up to the edge of the river. At this point, we had called for the state police divers to come and search the area to see if the car was, in fact, in the river.
The dive team searches the murky water. And they spot something. But as investigators are about to find out, there's another mystery lurking in the deep. Psychic Ann Fisher has led police divers to a spot on the Mohawk River where she believes Armand LaForest went down.
Did you find anything down there?
When the diver came up, he told us that the car was in the river and that there was a male in the car we believed to be Armand LaForest.
But this doesn't appear to be a simple traffic accident. Police are about to make a disturbing discovery.
When we pulled it out, Armand was not in the driver's seat. He was in the passenger seat.
Passenger seat, driver.
So if LaForest wasn't driving, who was? At police headquarters, investigators scour the car for clues.
We processed the car further, and we did observe some long blonde hairs on the headrest, the driver's seat of the vehicle.
It's the clue that breaks the case wide open.
When we found these hairs, dawned on me that the last person that Armand was seen with, Renee Auclair, had long blonde hair.
Is Auclair the mysterious woman from the psychic's vision?
We brought her into the station. We talked to her for a number of hours. Renee kept denying that she had any involvement at all, but everything we heard from her just seemed to be deceptive. She was lying to us.
After hours of interrogation, Auclair finally cracks and makes a shocking confession.
Renee told us that while they were driving, they got into some kind of altercation in the car, and that Armand had grabbed the wheel, and she swerved and ended up driving off into the Mohawk River. She managed to free herself from the car. She climbed up a muddy embankment, got up to the road, walked home, and never once called the police or let anybody know what happened. She was only concerned about herself and not getting caught and implicated in this.
Renee Auclair is convicted of negligent homicide. And had it not been for the psychic, Auclair's secret might have stayed at the bottom of the Mohawk River forever.
The only reason we really searched up by the Mohawk River was Ann Fisher had told Armand LaForest's daughter, Pam, that she believed he went into the river.
I'm always happy to work with the police. I'm like a piece of the puzzle. What I give them are some more clues, and they're able to work with it.
You know, in an investigation, if a family decides to employ a psychic and, you know, they develop some type of information, I'm certainly going to listen to it and look into it. If it's credible, then, you know, I'll investigate it.
Ann Fisher was instrumental in helping the family and ultimately helping the police find Armin LaForest.